Audio.
You do a clap. Is it going? Dope.
It's going.
What's up, guys? I can't tell if the cameras are even on, but
It's on you. It's on you.
dope. Yeah, welcome, guys. It's the Lounge Podcast, Bolsa Bros, whatever you want to call it. We call it the Lounge.
Is it the lounge? Should we call it the lounge or the Bolsa Bros?
I think the lounge has more appeal. Bolsa Bros is like, I honestly, I'm there here and there, but
Okay, not the Bolsa Bros. Okay, how about Boss Up? Boss Up Bros.
boss up. Are you trying to boss up?
Yeah, we're always trying to boss up.
I think everyone's trying to level up.
We're trying to boss up.
Yeah. So it's like the boss up bros?
Yeah, that's that's the name of AI gave me.
Maybe because it
sounds
noticed-
good, right?
Maybe
Boss
because it
Up Bros.
also noticed like the topics we're talking about and like
It was just a caption because like it doesn't know Bolsa.
yeah.
So when I said Bolsa Bros, it sounded like Boss Up Bros to them, the AI.
Bro, if I was a computer and someone inputted bolsa, I'd just be like, because bolsa means bag in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, bag bros. Like, what does that mean, dude?
Bag Avenue.
What?
All right, so today's episode, Brian's gonna introduce the topic.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, or maybe you guys don't know, if you haven't been following, I've been on a, I guess you could say like a pilgrimage of like with my relationship with alcohol and like substances, and started July 1st of 2023, and dude, it came to an end.
All right, let me interview you, okay? So
Yeah.
what were you addicted to? We're talking about addiction, right? And overcoming addiction,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So what substances were you doing? What was your day-to-day basis? And what made you want to change? So let's just go start off. What were you doing?
Oh shoot, I'm sorry. It's been so long. I think I got off. I'm 26 months. I broke it at 26 months. So that's 2 years. Right?
Yeah, 26 months.
It's a little over 2 years. Sorry, so 2022. One more time. What was the question?
Okay, the first question, what substances were you using?
Oh, okay. Yeah. The main thing I was having problems with was alcohol. I was just heavy on it. I was drinking a lot. It became really normal. And then I was blazing here and there. So
Here and there. Hey, I'm Brian's friend.
No. Like I was blazing here and there. I would indulge in that.
That's it?
But that's it.
Okay,
It's
okay.
mainly those two things, right? But alcohol for sure. I had my demons with it. Like absolutely. It was not going down a good path at all. It was very detrimental to what I'm trying to accomplish.
Alcohol, okay. So how often were you drinking alcohol?
Yeah, man. So I was in a pretty demanding sales job, and like even prior to working that job, I was already drinking like almost every day, right? So like it was very normal to just crack a beer open when you get home from work, right? Or sometimes even during lunch hours, like you have a lunch break at work. Sometimes we just go to the brewery with like some of the coworkers, like, one beer won't kill you, So we'll grab an IP or whatever and then get back on it, right? So like that's when I knew it was getting kind of out of hand, right? Where it's just like, okay, you're drinking here, you're drinking there. The association with drinking is just like, it's okay. Give it a pass for everything. I was just going heavy. Weekends I'd be drinking pretty heavy. When there's like occasions, birthdays, parties, I'd be drinking. It kind of became like a vicious loop of just being on the sauce.
Yeah, can you tell me my experience about drinking? Okay, so drinking, I wasn't really much of a drinker in the beginning or whatever because I was really into health. I knew alcohol is not really healthy. But there comes a time where you get older or whatever, it's more socially accepted, or you just it becomes an option. Like, I could end my day with a drink. And almost all the time I would, drink, get drunk, buzz, and then it'll always lead to another drug, either weed, either cocaine, or eating like a pig, right? The munchies.
Yeah.
So that's my experience with alcohol. And even though like I would get into like cocktail bartending, making cocktails. I've always noticed like, man, every time I get into the phase of drinking, and it would be like every day, my life definitely would decline.
Yeah.
As far as when we're talking about health and um, yeah, just bad sleep. It all trickles down.
Right.
Bad
It
sleep.
affects all areas of your life type of thing.
Exactly. And
Gotcha.
then the amount of the time that you have to go out and like find a find a drink, and yeah, just when you're buzzed, you don't want to do what's necessary. You just do like, okay, I'm just gonna go pick out. No, your inhibitions are down. So
Dude, you're
that's what I
impaired.
noticed.
You're
Exactly.
literally impaired. You're not in your right state or like your natural state. So your decision making is definitely going to be affected.
Yes, decision making. So if you think about life is literally just about the decisions that you make. So if you are being intoxicated, you're not making great decisions.
The choices you make, man.
Yeah.
Huge.
And then yeah, recently I haven't been drinking because I'm trying to do this I'm doing a weight loss challenge of this month of September.
Oh, you
So
just started that, right?
yeah,
Nice.
so I haven't been drinking, and dude, it's much better. You're making better decisions, you're sleeping earlier, all those things. Yeah. So
Dude.
go ahead. So what made you want to change?
Yeah, so I don't think you know this because we weren't really hanging out for like a good minute the past few years, but basically I was trying to pivot away from my career in sales, and I was dabbling in with aviation. And I watched this movie Flight. I guess it's inspired by like a true event about a maneuver that hypothetically could happen, or was attempted to save everyone on board, but ended up they didn't make it, and unfortunately they passed away. But the movie's called Flight, and it has Denzel Washington, and basically he lives the pilot lifestyle, traveling everywhere, major alcoholic, and basically in the movie does this crazy maneuver, and he was like sloshed drunk, but he's such a good pilot that he was able to do the maneuver, and there were very minimal casualties or whatever, like a lot of people survived. um, Worth the watch. It's a good movie. But anyways, I watched that because like I was getting into aviation, I was working towards my private pilot license, and I was like, damn, like if I'm gonna go this route, like maybe it's good to start fresh, like completely fresh, and like change my relationship with my behavior with everything, right? So like, or the things that might be holding me back. So one of the huge things was alcohol, and yeah, I think at that time when I made that choice, there was very high conviction, and I didn't relapse or lapse or anything. Like I just cut everything cold. It was not easy. I would have my moments of like, um, I'd be snappy. I'd be like, there's like definitely withdrawal symptoms there. I'd be questioning it a lot, but over time, like it got a lot easier. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's like it's an afterthought. It's like okay, whatever. Now here and there, don't get me wrong. When there's like someone's, your good friend of yours is getting married, or like there's like a really big life event, and like everyone's just there to have a good time. You do kind of like you feel like you're like missing out, right? And you want to be a part of that. That's like the social aspect, and I think we talked about it before too. It's like you want to break bread, that ritual of like being enjoying and celebrating the moment with someone, and like yeah, just like it's very tribal, cheers, hanging out, making memories with the people you love and care about. Like that's great. That's probably the best thing about it. But no, yeah, that was the reason I had high conviction for doing it. But now I went back into sales, and then the aviation thing. I'm like, oh, it's more of a hobby. It's not something I want to do as a career. And then lately too, there's been a lot of life changes where like more people are getting married, all these things, and I'm like, okay, I think for me personally, I'm like, I think I got what I achieved what I was like seeking with my relationship, and like calibrating that with substances or alcohol in particular, right? And that's when I realized, like, I think eventually, like, when I'm getting married next year, um, I would like to have a drink at my wedding. like, or I would like to have a drink when like my nephew does this, like he accomplishes something, or like, you know, for big events or like, you know, milestone things. And like that's kind of become my association with it now. Um, so, you know, basically to just cut into it, recently, um, you know, I like never truly had a moment to celebrate my fiance's like return home and like her graduating and like going through this whole like career change and like, you know, finally accomplishing that. We never really had a moment to celebrate. Like we hung out, we like observed it a lot with friends or whatever, but we never just like one on one ever celebrated it. And then, you know, she's been drinking wine. I think that's like more of her thing as of late. And then for me, I was just kind of like, dude, like, what's a glass of wine gonna do to me? I think I'm ready for it. Yeah, fuck it, just drink it, right? Took a sip of it, and I was like, oh, like okay,
So
kinda
you took
good.
a sip.
Yeah, I took a sip. I had half a glass. I think I'm like 7 days straight right now or something. But I restarted. I was like, dude, because okay, that morning it was so funny. We went out to LA that weekend to hang out with friends, and then they're just like, oh damn, you still don't do this, you still don't do that. I'm like, no, yeah, I'm still on this kind of like this journey. I'm just not really ready for it yet, you know. But I think I got what I needed from it. Like I don't think if I was to start drinking again, I'd go down this downward spiral and be like hooked on it again, right? So like I've definitely already come to terms with that. But like when we got home and I started like, you know, when me and my fiance were just hanging out, I was just like, dude, okay, let's experiment with it. Why not? Like why am I sober again? What's the goal? Like things have changed. I think I got what I needed from it. Then I drank it, and then the day after I was just like, okay, why did I do that? Right? And it's interesting because you just like it's like you really do start over. And it's like, am I craving it or whatever? Am I hungover? Not even hungover. It's like half a glass, right? But I think it just had to happen. And it's a part of the journey now where it's just like my relationship with alcohol has changed permanently, which is really cool because that was the goal the whole time. It was to really refine that process and not really have to drink to like cope or whatever, right? I was drinking for different reasons than maybe most people. Some people would drink to celebrate or whatever. I was drinking to get away. I was drinking because it numbs the pain or whatever hardships going through, you know? So, yeah.
All right, but I'm gonna have to push it back on that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is okay. If you did have a problem with alcohol, but then you associate what you said about association. If you're gonna associate drinking with celebration, don't you think that's gonna creep back in your life and you just have a positive association towards alcohol? And if you think about it, every day when you wake up, that's a reason to celebrate.
Absolutely.
So people could take it bad where if you associate alcohol with celebrating, it's just, hey, every time I completed a day of work, oh, that's a cause for celebration.
Right. So that's what I mean by saying I had to change my relationship with it. So my reason for drinking was it did start off that way, right? Yo, the homie turned 21. Okay, so this stems way back, right? Hey, we're going to Vegas. We've been working all year. It's summer break, right? It's like those little things, right? You'll just, and it just compounds, right? All of a sudden you start justifying the reason to drink for everything.
Yeah, but the reason we're drinking for everything was Thursday. Oh, it's Thursday. Cool. It's Friday.
Like, damn, bro, I lost money in the stock market. I'm pissed. Let's hit the bar, right? Okay, boom. Hey, I made money in the stock market. Let's go hit the bar. It becomes the same. It just becomes all blended and nasty, right? You don't know right and wrong for yourself anymore. And at that point, that's when I feel like that's when you have like a chemical addiction to it. You know, there's this thing where your body is like craving it. And you get so used to that routine and those habits. Now, what I've come to terms with in the last 2 years is like when you're doing something, it doesn't even have to be drinking. It could be like anything. Is the choice I'm making right now enriching my life? Like, is there actually a positive benefit to it? And is it like as harmless as possible, right? Or whatever. But that's how I kind of view it now. It's like, okay, I'm going to drink for special occasions, like truly special occasions. And you have to draw that baseline ground rule, like that principle. Special occasions, and when it is actually enriching my life. I'm drinking with other people, whatever, boom. So like I guess something that has been gaining traction is like the sober curious movement. Like someone wrote a book about it, like some recovery coach or something. And then like a lot of people started like, oh yeah, like that sounds great because I don't want to be completely sober, but like I'm not like addicted. Like no one want it. That's the hardest thing for people to do or anyone in general. It's to accept that you're in a bad place or there's an issue, right? But I guess this movement it's gained so much traction because it's not so aggressive. Like you're not cutting it completely cold. You're not like ghosting people. You're not going off the grid completely or whatever. You're trying it out. You're trying to refrain from drinking or from indulging.
Well, look, the people who want to quit, they already have a problem in the first place. And if you have a positive association towards alcohol, like when you're talking about, oh, I drink when there's a special event, it makes you want to drink. It makes you want to make a old fashioned cocktail. Get a glass, put the ice. Get the orange, put in the maple syrup with the whiskey.
Why are you describing it like that, bro?
Because that's the experience I have with making my own cocktail, and it comes out looking nice and has the orange peel on there. That's how and it just makes me like, yeah, this is my relaxed style, whatever.
Yeah, you're winding down.
Yeah. You can say it's winding down or not, but it always turns into like 4 drinks, bro. It always turns, okay, 1 drink turns into straight 4. And like now when I hear you talking about it, like I'm craving it because I still have that positive association. But the moment I start thinking negatively, like, nah, bro, if you do that, you're going to fuck up on your diet. You're messing up your sleep.
Yeah.
It's just going to, the next day you're going to want to drink it again. Personally for me, man, like, when you say, "Oh, just have 1 drink" or something, like that's way harder than having no drink.
Yeah, because you're
having just 1 drink because you already crossed the line, and at that point you're like, "Hey, I'm already 2 ounces deep. Let's do another one or another one." What's stopping you?
So that was definitely, dude. That was my problem for sure. Like there was no limit. It was like if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna drink. There's no coasting. There's no this is a 1 beer type of night. Like it's, hey, we're drinking to feel it, right? And I think that's where I had it all wrong. Because the intention was to get drunk. Or the intention was to really numb. Like, right? Like it's to really feel it and dive in. That's why it became a problem. Because that's not sustainable. No one is designed to keep going that way, right? And if you think you are, nature will correct that course eventually. But now it's like I actually realize, like, okay, let's say there's just something where.
Here, I want to ask you, okay, what is a sober curious? What is a sober curious movement? I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of it?
I've never heard of sober curious.
Okay,
nope.
So I'll pull it up.
Because that sounds like you're towing a line. That's kind of dangerous. If you're gonna tell alcohol, hey, you can have a drink here and there.
So
in practice, I don't know how that's gonna work.
So I guess it was coined by Ruby Warrington, author of Sober Curious, The Blissful Sleep, Greater Focus, Limitless Presence, and Deep Connection Awaiting Us All on the Other Side of Alcohol. That's the headline of the book or whatever. It literally means getting curious about your alcohol consumption. The idea is to question the personal and societal reasons why you drink rather than mindlessly sipping. So it's kind of just like being more mindful of why you're drinking. Because again, you get kind of lost in the sauce. Like, like you said, like 1 drink becomes 2, 2 drinks becomes 3. You start having a positive association with it. Where does that stop? Where is the line drawn? People don't draw the line. That's the thing though, right? You have to remember, like, hey, like you said, the reason why you didn't drink heavy was because it is not good for your health. It is not designed to like make you physically, how would you say it, like more fit or like, it's just not designed that way at all. And we really do get lost in that because societal norms, the way it's marketed, right? When you think alcohol, you think fun. you think like partying, you think like celebration, like what I'm talking about, right? Um, you don't they paint a really beautiful picture with drinking, you know, until until it becomes one too many, and then homegirl gets a DUI, crashes into a tree, and like her friend dies or something. Like something drastic has to happen, and then all of a sudden the other side is like, oh hey, we need to like make sure you take a breathalyzer, or like don't drink, don't get fucked up or whatever.
No, it's true because that is going on in society. People are drinking and they're driving.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. So it's like that's the thing. It's just there's no fine line drawn. There's no principle based approach to it. And then once it happens, sometimes it's too late and it sucks.
Wait, were you with me at the time where we saw that guy get like hit 3 cars in a neighborhood residential street?
Ooh,
remember when we were close by your house? Okay, and then we had to call the cops. I think it was maybe Steven.
It wasn't me.
It was my other friend. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't me. But you guys told me about it because I remember coming that night, and you guys were just like, you guys both had like identical stories, and it was just like, dang, dude, that sounds nasty.
Yeah. So what happened was we were in the house in the room, and we heard a boom, a slam. My friend thought that car hit his car, so we like ran out, like, oh, what's going on? And the car first hit the car because it was making a turn, and then as it's going, he's still going, and boom, hits another car, and boom, hits another car, and then that's it. And we're like, yo, 911, man, someone's drunk or something. And as we saw it going on, yeah, when we saw him going down, they gave him sobriety test. Yeah, he was plastered,
dude.
Yeah, so that's the dangerous thing about alcohol. Yes, I do get that point where, hey, you want to enjoy, but it depends, because some people in their minds, they don't see that as enjoyment.
Yeah.
Why would I intoxicate myself?
Right.
And put myself through the possibility of getting addicted and just making bad decisions that one night. Being sober, do you agree with this though? Being sober is the best state of mind you could be in as far as making decisions.
Absolutely. 1000%. It is your natural state, and it is, you think about it scientifically too. When you drink, or if you get tired from like whatever you're doing, you exercise, you go ham, what is the body always trying to do? It's trying to rest. It's trying to recuperate, recover, and it's trying to get back to just square one, like homeostasis, right? Like we're just always trying to just even out, stay level-headed, no matter what you do, like whatever drugs you do, however anxious you get or depressed you get or whatever, right? Like, I mean, that might be a little different actually, but when it comes to substances and like getting deep into that, your body's always going to try to just, dude, filter that crap out and get back to being normal, being just regular you. And I really feel like there's a reason for that, right? Like you're trying to live, you're trying to survive. Your body is trying to just thrive in its environment and like be there, be present. Yeah. I mean, that's my outlook on it is just so different now. I think too. Another thing is like a lot of it is self-control, like sometimes we
But at the same time, look, self-control, you don't have self-control when you're drunk.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's the intent? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with this? Like,
no, let's okay. I do understand the side where, bro, when you're drinking with your friends and you guys have a crazy night, it does add some spice to life.
Oh yeah.
When everyone's like, let's say,
hey,
you're
gonna
get at my wedding, if there wasn't alcohol, would it be that fun? At your wedding, if everyone's not drinking, it would be fun, right?
Right.
So I totally get that, and I wish I could do that as well, where I could just drink as a celebration, but I do end up just drinking more often by myself, nothing celebratory, and just
So okay, everyone's gonna be different, right? There is no one like there's not one way fits all type of thing. Like that's why you gotta experiment and you gotta like eventually really understand who you are as a person. Like, am I the type of person that goes overboard? Am I the type of person that's pretty conservative? Like, your habits. It tells a lot about like how you are once you start getting sloshed too. I think I
Yeah.
really do. Right? It's how you do other things in your life too. Maybe, probably, you know.
But here's what's funny about today's culture and about online. If you don't pick a side, no, like it doesn't go viral. So if you're towing the line of saying, oh yeah, you can have a drink here and there, just don't abuse it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna care.
Look, right.
It's
right.
either, hey, fuck alcohol, be sober, or you're the boys like, yo, fuck it, man. I'm gonna drink every day because I want to live life. I don't care when I die. Who care? Like, who's gonna care how much you drink when you die?
No, for sure. You have to draw the line. And are you on that side or
Are you
this
team
side?
alcohol or team sober?
Yeah. And which side are you on? If you're not, you suck, right? Like that's just how it is.
That's
But-
how you get views. We're talking about views, but if we're
Right.
talking like breaking down the conversation, there's always a gray area.
No, for sure. But so like again, I've tried both and I don't think 2 years is enough of a sample size. Like if I went longer, if I was to make it longer, and part of me is kind of still sober because like half a glass, that's it. Like it's not like, I guess the term relapsing is when you come out of off your goals of staying sober and you're going back to that detrimental behavior of like you're not progressing, you're doing worse, and you're just going back into that cycle of abusing the substance. I definitely did not relapse. I definitely passed that point of lapsing. I feel like 2 years was pretty lengthy for me. But to kind of get back to what you're saying, like, was drinking very heavy, took a 2 year break. Now I'm kind of like, oh, sober curious. So now I'm like floating and like flirting with this gray area of it, right? And I think a lot of it is just calibrating your life with where you're at that point of time. Because it's like, again, everyone goes through these phases at different times. Some people drink right off the bat at like 16 or 17 and they're just going ham. And by 21, they're like, dude, okay, I could legally drink now, but I'm kind of over it, dude. Like, I've been drinking for a while. And then it's different, right? Some people might be like, dude, I'm going to go harder. Like, now I could go to all the crazy places. I got to level up. Now I'm no more beer. I'm only doing hard A or whatever, strong stuff. Or you go more into more finer stuff, whatever. Everyone has a different palate. But seasons, man, it comes and goes in seasons. And it's like, when I assess my situation now, it's like, okay, what does alcohol do for me? That's where it starts. That's the question, right? And it's like, it really doesn't do that much.
I don't know, man. Look, when you talk about being sober and not doing it for 2 years, it doesn't make you want to drink. But when you talk about
it makes you what?
not want to drink,
Yeah,
because
you have this track record and you have this progress.
Yeah, and you're talking about all the benefits of being sober,
Right.
But when I hear sober curious, oh, what's your relationship to alcohol? It literally makes me want to go and get a drink after this podcast. So I don't understand the point of sober curious. Like, what's the point of sober curious? Okay, is it just figuring out your relationship with alcohol and just not drinking it here and there, but not becoming addicted everyday habit, or what is it all about?
So, bro, I think that's gonna be our homework. Like, let's both. I'll get this book and we'll kind of just like dive into what this lady or what this Ruby person is really like, trying to get at, and why it became such a big and popular thing. But again, it literally means getting curious. So you're really just questioning about your behavior, your alcohol consumption. You start questioning it, and you.
That
ask,
sounds like, bro. This sounds like gateway drug before your first time you trying alcohol. When you're sober, and you're like, you know what? Let me be sober curious. Let me try alcohol. That sounds so much like that, man. You remember when you're in high school before you ever tried alcohol?
Yeah,
you remember? Okay,
dude.
16 years old, whatever.
Right.
Oh, I'm sober curious. Now, let's see what alcohol tastes like, or let's see how it is to get buzzed. That sounds
That's what it
like
sounds
the
like,
sober
right?
curious movie. Yes.
I
So
think
tell me, what's the point? What's the point of sober curious?
I mean, okay, so here, the goal is to explore your relationship with alcohol. That's why I was telling you before this, like before it started, it's like really relationship behavior based with everything you do, right? Like, okay, what's your relationship with your phone, right? When you wake up, is that the first thing you freaking grab? Some people have, I mean, most people have their alarm clock on their phone. Some people don't on purpose, right? Some people are like, no, my alarm clock is the one that wakes me up. I put my phone on the desk and I don't look at the phone until like an hour of being awake because I want to be as off that shit as possible. Like one thing I noticed is like, especially like growing up too, or going to college, I was like, why are all these comp sci guys so against social media and like off all these like technological apps and all these things? It's because they understand how addictive it is. And they don't want to be like enslaved to it. And I was like, oh shit, that's pretty deep, right? It's the same way. They have a certain relationship with it because they understand it. So with alcohol or any substance that you really indulge in or you get a little too carried away in, you have to ask yourself like, okay, what's my relationship with it? Does it bring more good than bad? Okay. Like, is it helping me out? Like, where is really the benefit from doing it, right? And dude, it's. I just feel like your relationships with things and people and places, it's everything. Yeah. Alcohol, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I like this whole idea of sober curious. Like I would prefer
You think it's too
pick
gray?
a side.
You think it's
Yeah,
too gray?
Pick a side, bro. You're gonna drink. You're not gonna drink.
But that's the thing. Sometimes you
Like I get it.
There's a place for everything though. Like where would you drink?
We're me by myself at home.
Right. So you enjoy that.
I mean, I enjoy the process, what do you call it?
The ritual.
The ritual, exactly. I appreciate the ritual, but when you're 4 drinks deep, you're kind of like, man, what the fuck did I do to myself? And like suddenly something comes up. Like think about if you're like drunk and then something happens to your family and like, hey, you gotta drive us to the hospital. I'm like, shit, bro, I'm 4 drinks deep. What the fuck?
Right.
You really I question that about myself. Like, what if an emergency happened right now and I'm just like, I am drunk right now, and it made me, like, you know what? If I lived the rest of my life sober, I'm telling you, my life would be much more improved than the guy who's just gets drunk every night. But yes, I understand. Like,
I guess that's
the very times where you do get drunk with. During a wedding or your friends, I get that.
I guess that's
but
what
it's a slippery slope.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brandon, or I'm asking. It's like, okay, so now you know that, right? You're like, I don't want to drink and get to that point where I'm impaired and like if emergency comes up or people that rely on me, I can't be there for them. So it's good that you know that. You recognize that, right? So maybe you'll tone down or maybe you'll make that decision to not drink all the time by yourself. And maybe you just associate that with like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to drink when there's people around and I know I'm not going to have any responsibilities. Like that could be your like baseline of why you drink or like how your relationship with alcohol. Like you have to define it, right? It's like with anything. Like, I mean, or at least the way I see it. It's kind of like you have to define like, okay, why do I do this? Why do I do that? But not everyone has the time to go through every single action step they're going to do. But I feel like with things like alcohol or like things that are addictive, you kind of have to, in your mind, like calibrate and be like, okay, what am I doing?
I don't know, man. After this podcast, I'm feeling like getting sober curious. I feel like getting sober serious.
I'm making you anxious, bro. You want to?
Yeah, like let me get a drink and see if I can stop at a drink.
Try it out. Why not? Right? Because like, what if that became your new thing where it's just like, yeah, all I need is one. Be that one beverage guy. Like so who's to judge you? Like it's at the end of the day, you know yourself. Dude,
hey,
trust
man,
me.
Look,
bro,
after a drink, my fuck it muscle goes like, yeah, fuck it, bro. Do another one.
And like
that's not enough, man. I'm not buzzed enough. Let me get another one.
And I get it. Most people are like that. Like, dude, why do you even question it? Why do you have to quantify like that feeling or whatever you're doing? Like enjoy yourself. It is what it is. Roll with it, right? I get that. I've been there. I used to instigate all the time.
Aren't you more of an all or nothing type of? And aren't humans more all or nothing? Or it makes them stick better?
I think everyone's different.
Yeah.
I think there are some people that really do like practice moderation and really just like try to balance out. and it's very to me now. I'm like, dude, that's impressive. Like to have that much self control and like discipline and mastery of your environment and your habits. That's crazy,
It is true though. Like moderation is harder
dude. It's way
than
harder.
picking a side and going all in.
I think it's the hardest thing,
Moderation is harder, yeah.
dude, for sure. Like that's why being sober curious is it's tricky, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But if you could do it, props
Yeah,
to you.
you could actually have the best of both worlds. But I don't know if many people could actually apply it.
Yeah. But again, it's just being mindful.
So what is it? Is sober curious? Is it like a book? Can I read a book? Can you read a
Yeah.
book? What's it?
I get, dude.
Have you read the book? What else? What other?
So I haven't read the book.
Okay.
So I actually didn't find out about the movement until I was like, I want to say 8 months deep into my journey of sobriety. Because I started to wonder, like, you know that I Am Sober app? Great app. Like, dude, if you're trying to experiment or trying to lay off the bottle, like that, or any other thing that you're trying to like work on or, you know, change some habits, that's a good app. It's kind of built like an AA meeting, all in an app, and like you could share your feedback and like talk and whatever and like all that fun stuff. It really has the tools for you to, you know, not feel like you're going through the journey by yourself. I never posted anything though, but sometimes I would read like, oh, this is the thoughts that are going through this guy at 6 months, right? Oh, cool, good for you, man, awesome, keep going, you know. But at 8 months deep, I was just like, I started to Google a little more. I'm like, okay, how do people kind of feel around like the 1 year mark? Like, do they go back to the bottle or like what? What's the criteria there? Like, do you want to go another 4 years? Like, where's your headspace at, right? Because for me, I was getting to the point where I was like, dang, I kind of miss the social stuff. But at the same time, I could do without it. I started, dude, you start having your first for a lot of things again, right? It's like you're a kid again, bro. Go to wedding sobers. Like, you go to events sober. You start becoming the freaking driver for some people. Like, some people that you really care about. It's like, oh, dude, like, he doesn't drink. And then like, you volunteer. Like, dude, yeah, I can drive you guys. We'll hang out. Cool. It's awesome. But I don't know. At the same time, a part of me was like, dang, I do miss having those moments or experiences with friends, family, networking. It's a big one in networking. I went to a couple events and I'm just like the guy that got non-alcohol beer. And I was like, dude, this is kind of weird, bro. Cause like if I'm the type of person where it's like, okay, I don't want to substitute non-alcoholic beer or substitute beer. Like, if I'm going to drink the substance, I'm going to drink the substance. So I was like, I'm better off just drinking water right now or sparkling water, honestly. All right. And that's where it kind of toggled in my head. I'm like, it was me that was the issue. Like, not being able to control and like, you know, my association with like fun and like going overboard and all that's all manageable. You have to just figure it out yourself though.
But that's funny what you say about when taking a drink or being social and drinking. I find it to me, I guess maybe because I don't go out as often anymore, especially having a family and all that and working. I don't go out with and drink with I don't have time to go out and drink with friends. And I find that if I am at like a family party or something, I am more able to say no.
Oh,
because I don't know, maybe it's just upholding the image that hey, I don't really drink and all that. But when I'm alone, that's a whole different thing. Like I could just, you know, no one has to know, whatever. I feel it's easier for me to not drink in a social setting than let's say just by yourself at home.
Yeah, it's funny. So everyone's different, right? I think for me, that was one of the big things I enjoyed about drinking was the social aspect of it. Like getting loose with strangers and like new friends, new people. Like it takes off that, you know, it takes off the bear, like it's like an icebreaker sometimes. And it's just like, yeah, you might make some memories with some new people you meet. And that's what I really liked. So I put this association with that, with drinking, right? I try to do it without it. And it's just so different. It's like, dude, you're going to, how would I say it? Like, you're going to the swimming pool because everyone's swimming, but you're not swimming. Like, you're just there to hang out. And everyone's like, dude, jump in the pool.
Yeah,
like,
everyone's in the pool while you're on the chair.
Dude, we're here to swim and, like, mess around in the water. Okay, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And that's why, like, if you are trying to go sober or, like, stop a substance, you need to change your environment. Like, that's a huge thing. that really worked for me quickly.
Environment, or I hear from people who just don't drink and they're like, yo, I just don't drink.
Yeah.
That is their identity. That is what they stick to. There is no option of drinking. So they don't feel awkward at all.
Yeah.
Everyone knows like, oh, this guy doesn't drink. And he's very strong with his identity, right? And everyone just knows he doesn't drink. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, if you know what, that's why that's the thing. Like, you have to know your relationship with things. Like, if you know like alcohol's not for you, then awesome, good for you. Like, don't mess with it then, right? But if you're like kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out,
yeah, the guys that were like, hey, you want a drink? You're like, come on, bro, I know you drink.
Yeah.
Here, get a drink, right?
And then there's like peer pressure, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'll have one. That guy always ends up getting the most effed up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because he might have just wanted to belong, or like, you know, really feel invited and like kick it with the homies, make memories, right? Like, everyone's different, man. I guess what I'm saying though, to really just circle, like, come to full circle with the topic, it's like you have to identify your relationship with things and what works for you and what doesn't. And yeah, going overboard is gonna get you no matter what. Like, there's a time and place for everything. Yeah. Oh no, I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Really, that's okay. That's it.
Yeah, as far as like what I wanted to talk to you about, or just kind of for today's topic.
Okay, so what do you feel is your next move?
My next move, bro, I'm gonna start binge drinking every weekend.
Hey, Macy, hey, let's enjoy a cocktail right now, bro. Let's get some sober curious. You down?
No, I'm good.
Bro, this whole conversation makes me want to drink. I'm telling you.
Well, what are we gonna celebrate? That I was able to go 26 months?
Exactly. Think about that. That's a celebration. That's a cause for celebration, is it not?
Right. But that's the thing. Like, we just start programming again, right? Like, our positives, our yeah, I don't know. I've pretty like I have pretty strict, I don't want to say strict guidelines, but there are certain things where I'm just like, okay, if it's a wedding, I'll drink, right? Like, if it's like, I'm gonna
where are you gonna draw the line? Is it a wedding? Is it birthdays? You know, is it
yeah. So
is it dumb yo, bro? You know?
Oh yeah, hey. No, it's really just sparingly. I think that's where my mind is at right now. It's like, okay, let's drink sparingly, and let's just have one or two when it's for a special moment, special occasion. That's it. And when I mean special occasion, I mean, don't like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, bro, let's drink. That to me isn't a special occasion enough. Like, it's got to be like some type of life milestone. You know what I mean? For example, okay, like for me personally, like if my friend started a business and they just had their grand opening, dude, I would cheers to that, because I know my friend probably worked pretty hard at that, right? Okay. But I'm not going to drink with you just because I haven't seen you in 10 years and it's like, oh, let's hang out.
Bro, that's a cause to celebrate. 10 years?
Okay.
That's a long time.
No, but I'm just saying, like, for me, like, you have to identify like why you would and why you wouldn't. And that's for me. Like, yeah. So like a wedding, I feel that's like a big life, like a life milestone. Like, you know, that's a pretty big milestone, dude. Getting married. Having a kid, if you go to like someone's like gender reveal or whatever, it's like, all right, drink there. Like, cool. But
you know what's the other funny thing about drinking with your friends? You get to get into like good arguments.
Dude, the best.
Big arguments
the
that
best, bro. It's some of the best. Like,
no, like where like people be storming out.
Dude.
That's possible.
Oh, dude.
Dude, my very first time drinking, I was an angry drunk.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Like one of my friends said something and I snapped. And I just walked home by myself.
Oh, we weren't this close back then, but you remember like in high school when like we all slept at one of our homies' house, and I just went on I was just cursing at a certain ethnic background, like
hey, statute of limitation, bro. What ethnic background are we talking about, bro?
No, I love everyone.
Hey, it was another Asian. It was another Asian ethnicity.
But it's like but for me it was like, why was that an outlet though? Like, it was weird. I could never understand it, and it was just like, it was weird, right? And I was just like, okay, this type of alcohol really enrages me, or like it just gets me like raged up. I'm gonna try to stay away from that. And there's like a whole study behind it, like why certain alcohol or like certain things make you feel a certain way. It might trigger certain things like darks and lights or whatever. But dude, yeah, right now I'm like, okay, I kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna dabble with wine and like high end shit, like really good whiskey or scotch or stuff like that. That's it. If I'm gonna drink, no beers. If it's a cocktail, it better not be that sweet. Like that's it. And like a one and done type of guy, like one drink Brian. I'm cool with that. That's where I'm drawing the line right now.
Hey man, I had a beer recently. A beer is chill, man. I haven't had a beer in a long time, bro. Beer is chill. You know, hey, you go to Vietnam, you gotta drink a fucking tiger.
You need to have like 3 tigers.
I'm telling you, yeah. If you go to Philippines, is it not a cause to drink a Filipino beer?
No, because it was so funny. I think we talked about this on the other podcast where the cousins, like my girl's cousins, were just like, they're like, oh, you guys got engaged now? Oh, he's coming back. Oh, we're gonna get so drunk. They're all stoked. And then when I came there, they're like, what? Like you don't drink anymore? And they just kept trying, you know? Like they're just being very like welcoming and like they just wanted to celebrate for Kim. And I was firm. I was like, no. When I look back at it now, dude, I was just like, dude, what if I just had one beer? It wouldn't have killed anyone. Like, why did I hold so tight to that principle, you know? But it's because I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready to, like, I didn't figure out my relationship with alcohol yet and how I viewed it.
Well, it's true because I went on a little sober, curious. I went sober, right, before Vietnam. And I told them, when I get there, yo, I'm not going to drink this trip. And they're like, bro, what the hell? Like, why the hell are you going to Vietnam? You're not going to drink. Like, this is not.
And didn't you go for a while? How long were you
I went for like a week or two there. And I was like, what am I doing, bro? Let's just drink. And I started drinking.
Okay.
And I got fat, bro. I just, okay, fuck it. I'm drinking every night. And then eating, you're getting food delivered to you for like $10.
Again, there has to be a goal, there has to be a desirable outcome with what you want to do, right? Again, for me, it was to sober up because I was going into aviation. And it's like, dude, you cannot fly like that, right? There's no freaking way. Like, you need to survive up there. 1, 2, safety reasons. FAA is super huge on all that. Like, it's crazy. A lot of regulations, rules. Like, and no one wants dude, do you want your pilot to be drunk? Hell no, bro.
No way.
Hell no, right? So that's a huge like liability thing, everything. So I think that was a strong enough reason for me to be like, okay, all right. So and right now it's kind of just like, okay, well, I think for me now it's just more health. Cause like drinking a lot, it was kind of hurting too, dude. Like I would wake up and it'd take longer to recoup and everything, and I was just like, dude, how much longer could this go for? And like me, I was huge on like really high ABV beers. Like I love stouts. I love really strong IPAs.
You were the IPA dude, man. You were like, bro, what are we doing drinking Heineken, man? Get some IPAs. Way more flavor. You get, the hops. You got the hop. It's very more hoppy. I'm like,
dude.
All right.
Yeah, and you guys would just like you guys would be good friends and be like, all right, roll with it, sure. But I'm gonna pick up another 6-pack of something else just to drink that. Understandable, to each their own. But that's the thing. I was chasing the feeling. When I think about it, it wasn't like because I liked it. I mean, it tastes good, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I wanted to feel it.
No, okay.
It got out of hand.
No, but when we're talking back to those times,
yeah,
dude, I really miss it. We haven't had that long time.
Yeah.
Just, hey guys, hey, come through. We're just gonna kick it. We're gonna enjoy some beers.
Right.
Wasn't that awesome,
dude? It was.
Now that you look back and you don't have it, you're like, yo, I kind of miss those nights.
Right.
But it's funny enough because those nights just turn into multiple nights, and then we have the conversation of, hey man, we're about to be 30 years old, man. We can't be doing this forever. Remember, I had that conversation recorded. Like, hey man, dude. We were talking. Hey, what are your goals? Man, my goals, man, in the future, I just gotta slow down. I can't keep doing this. We're about to hit 30.
Everyone.
One of my friends said that. I remember doing that video. I'm like, okay, that's so funny, right?
I mean, it's a part of like growing up too, I think, because like realistically, you don't have as much time to do whatever, like to live so sparingly, and like there's different obligations. I mean, especially for you, right? Like you got a family, right? you wear different hats now. Like you got to be there for your daughter and like all that, well, all that fun stuff, right? Be a good husband, all that. You have way more things on your plate that truly matter, and you want to be the best at that. Totally cool. But it is just that, like, and I think that's why I'm like kind of opening it back. I'm slowly introducing it back into my life because I do miss that stuff. Like, I do miss having a cold one, so to say, with like a good group of friends celebrating their big moment or whatever it may be. But yeah, now it's just completely different. Like I think for sure I had a really bad relationship with it. It wasn't going down a nice path.
Yeah, but man, nowadays if you don't pick a side, you're not gonna go viral. We gotta be like, yo, hey, I haven't drank for the last 250 days. People are like, yo, wow, congratulations. But now we're talking about, oh man, you could drink here, you could drink there. Like no one cares.
I guess.
And if you were to say what you said back then about the certain ethnic group that you were talking about when you were drunk, you go viral right now. You should say it right now.
Dude,
fuck those guys.
Dude,
fuck their food.
I'd go viral. My license would probably be taken for my line of
Would
work.
they really take your license for that?
I mean, no, but it's a huge like like equal lending and all that stuff. They're huge on like equality for everyone. Like that's a big like segment that you really have to be like conscious of. You can't just like target certain ethnic backgrounds because you think they make more or whatever, right? Like there's a whole entire section about it. But I guess I don't know. Like I think I'm at peace though. Like it feels good. Like when I woke up, I didn't feel that guilty at all. I'm just like, oh, I was actually kind of like, dang, my streak's over. Like it felt great. 26 months was amazing, but maybe next time I could go longer. And if I did it matter? Right? Like, does it truly matter? How do I feel? I feel fine.
The only drug that when I take a long break and I go back to it, that make me feel like, why did I ever take a break? Like this thing is
cannabis?
Cool. Cannabis, exactly. Cannabis is the only thing where I'll take a long break, months, 2 months. Some people are like, dude, 1 month, 2 months, long break. No, I mean, yes, that is a kind of a long break. 1 month, 2 months, and then when you smoke again, and then you start thinking like, why did I ever start smoking in the first place? This is good.
No. It's funny you bring it up,
but only for people who are. You have to get accustomed to it because there's some people who smoke and they do not like the feeling.
Dude, it's no, for sure. It's funny you bring it up because I know for sure when I was a heavy smoker, I wasn't drinking that much. It was very like, I'm either smoking a lot or I'm drinking a lot, right? It's one or the other. Once I kind of found like, I don't want to say the light, but once I kind of found like, hey, cannabis isn't really working for me. Like, it's slowing my train of thought. I feel kind of brain foggy. I feel lazy. Like it wasn't, how would you say it? Exciting? Or like, I don't know. It wasn't like really benefiting me anymore or like making me feel good. I was getting kind of anxious about it. I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. Like I don't know why I'm doing it. No.
Too. Sometimes you do too much. You get a little very anxious.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, I could lay off of this. But with alcohol, I think because it was, it's always been, okay, no, I don't want to say always, but it's been more socially acceptable since we've been around, right? Like growing up into it and like just the way it's marketed, the way we associate alcohol with celebrating. Yeah, that one was tricky to get rid of. And like it just being so like accessible. You could go anywhere. You could go anywhere and grab a drink, right? You can go to 7-Eleven. You can get a tall can. You can go to a grocery store.
Absolutely ingrained in our culture.
You go to Whole Foods to shop for groceries. Boom. You can go to the bar right there and grab like a slice of pizza, right?
And what do most people say when they want to hang out? Like, hey, dude, someday we should grab a drink.
Yo, bro, it's been a while, man. Have you been to that new bar? Like, dude, I haven't drank in 2 years. What? Someone I ran into recently. I don't know if I told you, but I was coming down the street where I live, and his family used to live in the neighborhood, and he was out of state for like a long time. He finally came back to visit someone, and he was picking up a friend in the neighborhood. He saw me because my windows were down, and then he was yielding right, trying to exit, and I kind of just went past him, like I probably could have let him go, but I had the right of way. And then he like we came to the stop at the light, and he pulled up right next to me. I was like, okay, is this guy gonna give me beef for like, not letting him through? But he was really friendly, and he was like, dude, you still live here? And I was like, bro, what's up? And it was so funny because like we both recognized each other's faces after being like over 12 years, but we didn't know each other's name. And then I was like, dude, I'm sorry, like I'm really bad with names. Is this your name or whatever? And he's like, dude, oh my god, is this your name? And we're just having it, like we're just laughing. He's like, bro, we gotta go drink sometime, bro. And I'm like, dog, like I haven't been drinking for like the past couple of years. But I'm down to like grab coffee or grab a bite. And he was really receptive of that. He says like, dude, that's totally fine. Like, let's just hang out. And that was nice, But where I'm going with this is just like, you got to find what works. And like the people that do support what you're trying to do, they'll be there for you. People that won't, maybe they're not meant to like be your friends or whatever. So yeah, figure out the relationship you have with things. And yeah, there it goes. 2 years.
Cool, man. Oh, say, so you were sober 2 years and
about 26 months. That night exactly, I waited till like 12 in the morning for it to be the next day. And I was like, all right, let's just have a sip, see what's up. I wanted to hit that milestone, bro. Yeah, I did.
All right, dude, man. That's it for this episode. What's the name for this one? Overcoming addiction.
I would put
Sober curious.
Nah, like if I was to headline it, I just put the streak is over, and then people are like, what the fuck are they talking about? What streak? And then like it's so funny because they're like, oh, that's it. They only went 2 years. Everyone is gonna have a different outlook on it because like for some people 2 years is super long.
2 years is long.
For some people, it's not. For some years, especially when I see some people that post and they're like, dude, I've been sober for 10 years. Like, or like, people that have like really had a problem with it. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, good for you. You like truly made like a complete lifestyle change and you're still going with it. That's awesome. But again, everyone has a time and place for everything. Like, everyone's different, man. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's read the book. I'm gonna read the book now because I'm curious about it. Because it's just like, what is like.
Sober curious?
Yeah.
It probably has some good points in there. We should read it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it for today's episode.
Crack a cold one, bro.
Hey, I'm telling you, right now, bro. I want to go and make an old-fashioned cocktail right now, bro. Get some whiskey, maple syrup, bitters.
I need water, bro. It's hot as hell.
Hey, how about we celebrate your 2 years? Your 2 years ending streak, bro. See? We sober curious.
Vodka, huh?
All right, guys. Peace out.
Laters. Until next time.
Until next time.
Oh. No, I got to jam, though.